There is a sentence that quietly stops millions of dreams before they even begin. It sounds reasonable, it sounds responsible, it even sounds wise. I will start when the timing is right. At first, this thought feels comforting. It suggests that progress simply requires patience. That success belongs to those who wait for the perfect moment. But if you look closely at how life actually unfolds, you will notice something interesting. Perfect timing almost never arrives. Life rarely arranges itself into a calm and predictable moment where everything feels ready. Instead, life continues moving with uncertainty, responsibilities, and unexpected challenges. And while people wait for ideal conditions, time keeps moving forward. Imagine a young man named Ravi sitting at his desk late at night. A notebook lies open in front of him. On the page is an idea for a small business he has been thinking about for months. He reads the idea again and again. It is interesting, he whispers quietly to himself. But then another thought appears. Maybe I should wait until I know more. He closes the notebook. Weeks pass. The idea remains in the back of his mind, returning occasionally when he has a quiet moment. Each time he thinks about it, the same conversation happens inside his head. I should prepare more. I should wait until the timing is better. But what does better timing actually mean? More money, more confidence, more certainty. The strange part is that these conditions rarely appear before someone begins. Confidence often grows after the first step. Clarity appears after action. Experience develops through mistakes. Waiting for perfect timing is often another way of waiting for perfect certainty. And perfect certainty does not exist. Life is a process of discovery. People learn by doing, adjusting, and improving along the way. The illusion of perfect timing creates a comfortable delay. It gives the mind permission to postpone action without feeling irresponsible. But the cost of that delay is often invisible. Opportunities move quietly. Skills remain undeveloped. Ideas slowly lose their energy. Now imagine another person facing a similar situation. Her name is Sophia. Sophia also has an idea she has been thinking about for months. She knows the idea is not perfect. She knows she will make mistakes. But she asks herself a different question. What if I begin anyway? Her first step is small. She spends one weekend researching how to turn her idea into something real. The next week, she speaks with someone who has experience in that field. A few weeks later, she launches a simple version of her project. The result is not perfect. There are problems. Some people are not interested. But something important happens. She begins learning faster than she ever could by simply thinking. Action creates information. Every step forward reveals new insights. Every mistake teaches something valuable. This is the hidden power of starting before you feel completely ready. Progress begins earlier. Many successful people share a common experience. When they look back at the moment they began something important, they often laugh at how unprepared they felt. The first version of their work was imperfect. Their confidence was limited. Their understanding was incomplete. But they began anyway. Starting early does not guarantee success. But waiting indefinitely almost guarantees stagnation. Think about learning a new skill. A person who waits until they feel fully prepared to begin learning a language may never start. But someone who begins practicing simple words today will slowly improve. Over time, the difference becomes enormous. The same principle applies to health, creativity, education, and personal growth. Progress favors those who begin. Waiting favors comfort. Comfort feels safe in the short term, but it often leads to frustration later. There is also another reason people wait for perfect timing. Fear. Fear of failure. Fear of embarrassment. Fear of judgment. These emotions are powerful. They convince the mind that waiting is the safer choice. But fear rarely disappears through waiting. It usually shrinks through action. Imagine standing at the edge of a swimming pool for the first time. The water feels cold, the body hesitates. But once you enter the water, the discomfort fades quickly. Many challenges in life follow the same pattern. The anticipation feels more difficult than the action itself. Starting breaks the cycle of hesitation. Once you begin, the next step becomes easier. Another important truth is that timing rarely becomes perfect because life is always changing. Responsibilities appear. Unexpected events happen. New priorities emerge. If someone waits for a moment when life becomes completely calm and predictable, they may wait forever. Progress belongs to people who move forward even while life remains imperfect. Consider a woman named Elena who dreamed of writing a book. For years, she told herself that she needed long, uninterrupted hours to write. She imagined sitting in a peaceful room with no distractions. But her life was busy. Work, family responsibilities, and daily tasks filled most of her schedule. One day, she changed her approach. Instead of waiting for ideal conditions, she decided to write for 20 minutes each morning before the day began. At first, the progress felt slow, but every week the pages increased. Months later, she looked at her notebook and realized something remarkable. She had written more than she ever imagined. The book existed not because the timing was perfect, but because she stopped waiting. Small actions accumulate. 20 minutes becomes hours. Hours become chapters. Chapters become a finished project. Many people underestimate how powerful consistent, imperfect action can be. A small effort repeated regularly often produces greater results than occasional bursts of intense activity. Perfection delays action. Consistency creates progress. There is also a deeper psychological benefit to starting early. When you take action, you begin building self-trust. Self-trust is the belief that you can rely on your own decisions. Each time you begin something despite uncertainty, you strengthen that belief. Over time, you start thinking differently. Instead of asking, "What if this fails?" you begin asking, "What can I learn from trying?" This shift changes how you experience challenges. Challenges stop feeling like threats. They begin feeling like opportunities for growth. There will always be reasons to delay. Life offers endless distractions and responsibilities. But the most meaningful achievements rarely appear in perfectly organized schedules. They appear in moments when someone decides that progress matters more than comfort. Ravi eventually reopened his notebook one evening. He looked at the same idea he had written months earlier. But this time he felt something different. He realized that waiting had not improved the idea. It had only delayed his learning. He smiled quietly. Maybe the right time is simply now, he thought. The next day he began researching. The step was small, but it was real. And real steps create real momentum. Imagine your life 1 year from now. Picture the difference between waiting another year and starting today. The gap between those two futures is often created by a single decision. The decision to begin before everything feels perfect. Your first attempt will not be flawless. Your early progress may feel slow. But movement creates possibility. And possibility leads to opportunity. The truth is simple. Perfect timing is a myth. Growth begins with imperfect beginnings. So if there is something you have been thinking about for months or even years, pause for a moment and ask yourself a simple question. What small step can I take today? Not tomorrow. Not when everything feels certain. Today. Because the life you imagine is not built in perfect moments. It is built in ordinary days when someone decides to begin anyway. And often the most powerful transformation begins with a simple choice. To stop waiting and start moving. If this message resonates with you, take a moment after this video to write down one action you can take today. Keep it small. Keep it real. Then begin. Your future is shaped by the moments when you choose action over hesitation. And those moments can begin right now.